Hey friends, I thought it would be fun to take a walk down memory lane and look at my past Hobonichi planners and just talk about, somebody asked me one time, like, why do I use Hobonichis over other brands? And I don't really have an explanation aside from I'm comfortable with these. I love the planners. And I have several in my collection. These don't include this one and this one and this one. So I've been using, God bless you, Chewy. I've been using Hobonichi planners since 2022. So this would have been like what? So 22, 23, 24. This would have been like my fourth year using Hobonichi planners and moving into 2026. So my first ever Hobonichi was a week's. So I thought maybe we could like just kind of quickly flip through some of these and talk about them and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to try to put some to the side. I'm going to go through my weeks. I did try A6 in 2023. I kind of fell off, and I'll share some of that with you guys as well. And then maybe just kind of go from there. I hope that sounds good. And also, I'm curious if you are an avid Hobonichi user. I know like there are so many, especially like a lot of YouTube channels that I follow, particularly Monique from Monique Who Writes and Marcia from Mom Needs a Clone. Like, I know they've been using like Hobonichi forever, and I always enjoy their content, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys kind of like what the weeks looked like for me in 2022. I think this was my on-the-go planner, so I did paste in. I love pasting stuff in. I did pretty good. So I'm just going to quickly like flip through these. I think I probably, you guys may have already seen these, but something about these bound books, even for planning, like you think in 2022, I think Malaya was, I feel like that was like her first year of cheer, like in middle school maybe. I'm not sure. But I, very sparingly used the monthly. I was very much like just pen and highlighter because this was in my purse a lot. Yeah. I mean, y'all look how little my kids were then. They're like big now. It was when I got my van. I don't even have that thing anymore. But I would just use this however. And I loved how, oh my gosh, this was 6th grade. She wasn't even, oh my heavens. Okay. Nostalgia. Look at like, oh my gosh. See, and that's why like I love having these. And this was just a planner. This isn't even a memory book or anything. But I did a whole lot of planning in here. I did a lot of writing, a lot of notes. I think this was the year that I had my hysterectomy, I believe. Yes, I had my hysterectomy. So I was not feeling the greatest. But, I mean, I just did whatever. Sophie, look at her little handwriting. Oh, my gosh. Where is it? I think she wrote chicken nuggets, and she spelled chicken like the cows from the Chick-fil-A commercial. Cold fish nuggets. N-U-G-I-T-S. Oh, y'all. So, these were fun. This was a very, like, messy, scribbly, on-the-go planner. And, I mean, I didn't use it to its full potential at all, but I loved it. Sticky notes everywhere. Look at this. This is so cool. That's why I like these, honestly, because for me, it just, it's like I even look back past MSW licensure exam. I did do that. I was going to try to get a job at the VA, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. I was tracking my Christmas movies. We traveled. Look, and I even did like before and after pictures of my kids. Like Sophie, she's grown so much. I wrote accomplishments. This was when I graduated and got my master's degree. So it's just like so much fun memories in here. And there's a lot of unused pages as well. But this was definitely a very scribbly, a scribbly notebook. I could easily cut these out and use them. Okay, so that was 2022. Also, in 2022 was the first year I used a Hobonichi Cousin, and this thing is thick. And I actually do look back through this from time to time. Hold on, there's some like identifying info in here that if you see any weird cuts, it's because there's like very personal information in here. So 2022 was my first ever Cousin. Y'all, look how thick this is. And I've seen them get thicker, but the Hobonichi spine is unmatched. Now, the little tape here definitely was coming loose, but it, yeah. Look at that. Such a good time. Oh, this is when I kept track of like my YouTube, or tried to keep track of my YouTube stuff. I would just do like some overall notes. See, I didn't even use the monthlies a whole lot then either in here. So it looked like I was trying to plan. Look at that. So I'm going to try to flip through these really fast so you guys just kind of have an idea of how. And that's why I say, like, I love the Hobonichi planners, because they just, I don't know, it's like this nostalgia, and it's only been, what, 4 years that I've been using them. Are these Once More with Love stickers? I think I got that at Michael's. Oh, we went to Selma. I think this is the planner where I showed it to my friend, and she was like, you clean all the time. And I was like, pretty much. I did pretty well in the weeklies in this one. Look at me. Oh, I love this spread. So pretty. It's Destin. Y'all, I am impressed with how, okay, August came and I was like, nope. I would put a few things in here and there. I also think 2022 was the year I got into watercoloring. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. And I am so inconsistent in the weeklies. But how fun. So, oh, look, when we adopted Chewy. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. It's like I pause and get her to be quiet, and then she starts right back barking. Hold on. But yeah, that we adopted Chewy because Chewy was one of Sophie's Christmas gifts that year. This is when I started the job that I'm currently in. Like, this was a big year for me, 2022. So it's cool to have like a record of it. You know what I mean? My sweet Sophie's birthday. What birthday was this? Was this her 6th? Ugh, y'all, look at this. My kids are so big. I don't know if I can go through so much of this. But I was definitely doodling in here, playing. I feel like I don't want to say like my journaling style has changed, but I feel like I journal a little bit different. Y'all, that was when Malaya got her braces. So, yes, I mean, okay, and then this was 7th grade school year. Oh my goodness. Look at my little art. This is when I really started throwing myself into art and learning how to do things. That was when Roe v. Wade was overturned. Wow. I had cards in here. I was starting to get into fountain pens. This was a busy year for us. So much. Look at that poinsettia. That's watercolor. I showed that. But yeah. So I do sometimes pull these out and look at them because I think it's so cool. So that was 2022. Now 2023, I didn't use a cousin, but I did use a Weeks. And then I remember Tiffany showed this on Instagram, and I was showing it to Jesse, and he ordered it from like the actual Hobonichi site for me, and then I ended up not even using the whole thing. But y'all look, 2023, another year. Oh Lord, my weight log. This is when I was I was using the monthly to track workouts for, I guess, a little while. I kind of fell off. I think this was, yeah, 2023 was, 2022 was a busy year. 2023 was a challenging year for me, especially in March. My, one of my mentors, like, she passed away very unexpectedly, and I really struggled with losing her. I had known her since I was 22, and she had been such an important part of my life, such an encourager, and it was just so hard for me to cope with that. But I think at first I was not using this for planning. I was using this, I think, like, as more kind of like just self-care, whatever I felt like doing, almost even like a health law or like a health and wellness planner. And I was just writing random stuff in here. And then in February, that was when I was getting kind of over it. I started planning in here. And then I think this was like, was this spring break week? Or maybe it was this one. I'm not sure. But that was when my friend, I adored her. She passed away. And I was really trying. So there's a lot that I didn't plan in here. I also think I was in a moleskin. So if y'all look, like, there's so many pages not filled out. And then I jumped back in November. I started kind of feeling more like myself, started planning more, started posting back on YouTube again. Because I took, like, I can't remember. I took almost a year off from social media. I came back to YouTube before Instagram. Yeah, this was a very challenging year for me. And I didn't really do a whole lot in my planners. I didn't do a whole lot of reading. I was like in survival mode. It was a weird year for me. So, I mean, there's definitely a record, and I won't ever forget this year, but this was also a year that I really fell off of, like, a lot of the things that, brought me joy in life. And even in this, like, this was when the year that they introduced the Hones. And I loved the artwork. It was so beautiful. And I was using this instead of the cousin. I decided to use this as my, like, memory keeper journal, and I didn't stay in it long. There's the months are not filled out, and then I kind of jumped back in, but I was journaling in here. I don't know why I was being petty that day, but apparently I was. Got some new inks, and I was, like, doing some, like, task managing and stuff like that, kind of doing like what Helen from the Coffee Monsters Co. does, where I would just write like a synopsis. Oh my gosh, I was watching Virgin River. That show got ridiculous. Like, it was good when it started, and then it was like they started doing too much, and I couldn't. Maybe I should give it another chance, but I'll flip through this really quickly so y'all can kind of see. But I did experiment quite a bit in here. Loved it. I used a lot of stickers from Pen, Paper, and Plans. That was like a cherry blossom painting I did. I got Happy Meal that day. This is when I got some Jin Hao fountain pens. So I had a lot of blank days. Couldn't even get my days straight. So I'll just kind of flip through. But I don't know. Do y'all do this? Am I the only one? I like to go through. I even have, and maybe I'll do like some more where I'll show y'all some like the spiral journals I have. I've been journaling for a very, very long time. Journaling and scrapbooking. And then I think I'm trying to, I can't remember. Yeah, this is when I found out that Melanie passed away, and I loved her. She was just a light. Yeah, so, and that was, I kind of stopped using it, and then I started using this for art, because I do like the way watercolor looks in here. And then look, I put January 25th, 2024, past 4 pages, how I'm attempting to process through my jumbled up emotions and work through feeling anxious. Sometimes the words are hard to find, but the mix and jumbles of color explain better than I can. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but sometimes I can't find the words to express necessarily like how I'm feeling on the inside, but using a paintbrush. And then I was like swatching watercolors here, playing with stamps. So I started like art using this like after the fact. And then I was writing Bible verses in here. I was just kind of playing because I didn't want it to go to waste. So I was in 1 Corinthians, and then I was doing pen tests. And I still have so many pages, so I could easily just go in here and use this for scratch paper, because this is like the OG Timoe River paper, and I have a lot of it left. So yeah, that was 2023, and then we get to 2024, and I use this Lovely Weeks in 2024. It's so pretty. The cow, I need to take that out and put that in. Is that a sticker? Oh, that is so going in my planner. I need to take all this stuff out. I'm gonna save that. But yeah, so I was feeling very green. I have like a whole key code. I did pretty good tracking in 2024. And then I was tracking my sleep hours in here too. And then tracking migraines. I feel like 2024 was 2024 the year that oh my God, yes. I think it was the year that I was so sick, and the migraines were out of control. I was fighting doctors, trying to get meds. Like, it was horrific. It started getting better. This is when I learned a whole heck of a lot about how, I always knew insurance was shady, but how insurance companies were, like, so challenging, all of that. This was like a mock-up. So I don't move into my Hobonichi weeks until the beginning of the year. I know you can start, like, the first week of December, but I do not. I don't know if y'all are interested in seeing, like, full flips. I know some people like them. I'll try to flip through them fast, but I pretty much, for the past, 2 years, consistently have been planning, maybe not exactly the same, but very consistently in my Hobonichi weeks. And I think that's why I am constantly ordering. Number one, I like the color change, or not the cover, use words. The cover changes I use every year. I like them. I like that there's like some variety there. I like the way a lot of them look. I like that they don't all, the inside, the contents all look the same, but, we all may get weeks, Hobonichi weekses for the year. But, we all will probably get different covers because we all have different style. And I that's one thing I really like about the Hobonichi weeks, but it's comfortable. I feel so at home in these planners. When I first started using Hobonichi weeks, I was like, I don't know about this paper, but I love it. I love the crinkle. I love all of it. Sorry. But yes, it's just, look at this. It's like a whole year of like what happened. And it's wonderful. And then I was using this for dailies. Again, I'm not super consistent in the notes pages. Like, this little acetate's cute that I put in here. Oh, I wrote notes about a trip, like bill stuff. Sophie, we were using markers, fountain pens, all that stuff. I have a pencil board. Let me get that out. Series log. I was pretty consistent keeping up with this. Oh, and then these are the things I chose to keep from my personal rings, and the rest just went in the trash. So that was fun. And then I'm sure y'all know my Hobonichi Han from 2024. Look how thick that bad boy is. I mean, you cannot beat a Hobonichi spine. You can make this thing, like, in comparison. Now, I don't have a hone, but, hold on. I do have a cousin for 2026. I mean, and you can see, they come very thin in comparison. Or, I mean, we could even do, oh, here's the 2022. I mean, it's the exact same book. So these bad boys, they can chunk up, okay, is all I'm gonna tell you. But yeah, so last walk down memory lane. Oh, I loved this. Another person I truly loved is I have these envelopes and I printed additional photos, but I didn't have room for all of them to be in here, so I just printed them and stuck them in these envelopes to preserve them. And it's the same with this one. Oh, y'all, like Kendrick versus Drake. But yeah, this was such a fun book as well in 2024. I had a great time. And then I did use the monthlies to track my workouts and stuff. I got really consistent with working out last year in 2024. I did good this year up until a certain point. But I'm just going to quickly like flip through so you guys can see. I think I have a whole year flip of this up on my channel. If I find it, I'll try to link it. But man, this was a great planner too. I really enjoyed working in this, writing in this. So for me, it's like, in my opinion, you just can't beat a Hobonichi planner. You really can't. Look, roll tide. That must have been the iron ball. Yep. And then look, y'all, I did PLANMAS last year too. So what a perfect time to flip through all my PLANMAS days. Jesse and I were having a really good time going live. Look at the brackets. That was fun. And I consistently posted, but yes, even Sophie's grown up so much. It's just crazy to me. And then I think at the end of the year, I did my own 2024 wrapped and what like I accomplished, how many books I read, my like songs on repeat, you know, all the traveling we did last year to the beach. Look, we're not international travelers. We ain't got money like that, but we do like to go to the beach a lot. And I kind of reflected, you know, this year had a lot of ups and downs. The first half of the year, I struggled so much with migraines and trying medication that truly effed with my head. After fighting with insurance companies for months and advocating for myself, I was able to get the treatment I needed. I feel like my relationship with Jesse got stronger. I feel closer to him than I ever have, and for that I'm grateful. I'm proud of my girls. They both had so many amazing accomplishments and hit so many milestones. I am proud and blessed to be their mom. For my friends, both online and in person, I'm grateful for them. There are so many things I can say about 2024. I learned, grew, and truly became comfortable with my true and authentic self. And man, y'all, 2024, you know, it did have its ups and downs, but I like that I did this, and I'm going to do this like at the end of 2025 as well. Because I think it's important. I think sometimes with the monotony of life, you kind of get like stuck in just like going through the motions of day to day. But you know, when you have a place where you have like all these memories and however you store them, right? Like, you know, like Monique does monthly books, but man, in her monthly books has so much information. You know, there's people that do, you know, they just have like blank notebooks, and whenever they fill one up, they start the next one. But I think that there's something so magical about having written documentation of your life. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, nostalgia. And I do pull this thing out quite a bit and look through it with my kids and with Jesse and stuff like that. So, maybe like, and then, oh yeah, forgot about the 2025 Avec. There is a full flip of this up on my channel. So y'all are, you know, I'll try to link it so you guys can look at it, but that was fun. To also write in. But I guess like for me, why Hobonichi? Somebody, you know, and I think I responded to their comment. I'm about 100% certain. No, I'm about 99% certain I did. Why Hobonichi? Because I like it. I mean, I don't, and for me, I'm a person who is like, if it's not broke, I don't feel like I need to fix it. Like, I think it's great to try new stuff. But like these, I don't know. There's something about like the comfort of a Weeks. There's something so fun about, you know, I think some think that A5 is like humongous. But I mean, there's so much stuff, like even if I don't feel like writing, right? Like, is it spring break yet? Like, hello, I can already tell you how it's feeling on that particular day. Just from that, you know, notes to self. Like, I found something online and printed it. And so there's, I don't know, for me, there's just something so cool about having a book full of memories that you got, you know, cards or notes that my kids have given me, or sweet little notes that kids I see in session have given me that I can keep, yeah, and have and look back on if I want to. So anyway, that was fun. I really enjoyed it. If y'all are interested in like seeing, maybe, I don't know how much I'll show, but like if y'all are curious, before I discovered Japanese stationery, how I like journaled or planned or whatever, let me know. And I'll try to share a video of that. But yeah, I just thought this would be like a cool way to kind of, because like we're at the end of the year and we are progressing towards moving into new planners and journals for the upcoming year. And I just think sometimes it's so nice to look back on the books that are complete or incomplete and remember, you know, where I was to where I am now. And I think it's, you know, it puts me, I think, number one, in a place of gratitude. You know, it puts me in a place where I feel pride, like, for, you know, and humbled by like how amazing my children are, you know, the strength of my marriage, like all of these things, like, can sometimes get lost in the day-to-day monotonous tasks. But when you look at it big picture like this, it's, you know, I guess for me, I look at it and I'm like, I feel blessed, you know, and I feel grateful that, you know, I have all these amazing people in my life. So anyway, yeah, there I go. Sometimes I get a little sentimental and sappy. I'm not a crier, but I feel feelings deeply. How about that? Anyway, if you made it this far, God bless you, and thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you did. I will talk to you all soon, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.